check for an audio, video, visual and audio confirmation that you are able to see me, hear me, so that I can start the presentation, start the slide deck, or rather you are able to see me, hear me. I'll start the session right now. So I already have a question by Khushbu Attari that we need to, she's asking me if we can do a technical analysis case study on Moscow Dock. Sure, we will try and do that. But please remember that you should not construe any of the discussions that we have as a recommendatory. So let me start the screen share. All right, friends. I hope you are all able to see the screen. Yes, so this is the Upstox Pro screen on which we can see Nifty's chart. This is the daily chart, and let me give you a quick background about myself. I am a swing or a positional trader. I don't trade intraday so much as I do positionals, and because of that, I use higher time frame charts like daily, weekly, and possibly sometimes monthly to get an overall sense of what the market is trying to tell us. Okay, so my favorite chart time frame is the daily chart, wherein I try to make sense of what is happening in the market, and from there on I do look at the lower time frame charts as well to understand whether there is any shift in the current trend. All right, so I will try and explain to you what I mean by those things. So how we will structure this entire half an hour is in this manner. For the first 15 minutes, we will try and do broad market analysis. I'll show you some of the things that I do, which might benefit you from getting a broad view, from getting a broad sense of the market. Ki matlab market mein kya ho raha hai, not getting too specific, granular into a particular stock or something, but we can use a lot of indices to understand ki market mein kya ho raha hai. That's number one. Second portion, as in the next 15 minutes, we will spend, or the next 10 minutes, we will spend on trying to understand, what are the things one should be looking at for the derivative space in terms of, kaun se stock mein kya harkat ho rahi hai. Maybe we try to get some sense using the, the derivatives angle of it. And accordingly, we can understand ki acha inme se kis tarike ke trades lene chahiye from a futures or a options trader angle. Okay. And if time permits, I will try and take up Khushbuji's case study question as well. Chali. So what we will do is we will, so from here itself, we can go to the TradingView platform by clicking this button. This will take us to the broader chart. So I prefer using the bigger chart, which gives us a little more data to understand and read on the charts to make sense of what is happening in the market. All right. I hope everybody is okay with this. Okay. Chalo. Now, broadly speaking, if you look at the recent trend, let's do one thing. Let's go to the monthly chart. Since we are meeting probably for the first time in this session, I will take you from a broad multi-time frame analysis to get a sense of what is happening in the market. So if I were to look at the monthly chart of Nifty, what is Nifty trying to do? Nifty is very clearly trying to make a V-shaped recovery, but it is facing a lot of resistance around the previous all-time high, which is let's say 26,000 levels. Okay, so we are yet to break this through. Now, typically, what this pattern leads to in technical analysis is this. Okay, I'll quickly share that with you. So if this is the pattern that we have formed, right? Typically, what can happen is you will, so let's say scenario number one. Scenario number one is where the market will come down, okay, and then possibly form this, which is called a triple top double bottom or a W shape, okay, and then give a eventual breakout. Why am I saying that the breakout is likely to be on the upside? This is scenario number one. why am I saying that the market can, possibly do this? I mean, we are just, as a technical analyst, we are trying to see what could happen in the future basis the pattern formation on the higher time frame. This could be one possible formation, right? Why is the breakout likely to be up? Because the prior trend is very clearly up. So from a positional perspective, on the broad indices, we are always looking to buy in these levels, okay? And this kind of happens to be the higher time frame support, okay? Something really bad needs to happen for the market to break these levels of support, which we had seen in the early part of this year, okay? So I'm not hoping, I'm not seeing any such signs, but you never know what is going to happen on the right side of the chart. This is one pattern that could possibly manifest. What is the other pattern that could possibly manifest is we spend some time here, okay, do a range bound sort of a movement, and then eventually break out. This is scenario number 2. All right. So there are these two scenarios only that I am seeing. Some would argue that, sir, Amit, there could be a scenario number 3. Okay, the possibility of this scenario is least, in my opinion. Why? Because the structure does not seem weak, and I do not see any great reason for the market to break on the downside. If at all it comes, it will probably come around these levels, and this is the monthly time frame, and we are looking at such a pattern. Okay, so eventually we are likely to go up. So as long as the market remains in this range, this is time for averaging or continue your SIPs in the market. So this is a positional view. Now let's quickly look at what's on the more tradable or the shorter term windows. Now this is your weekly time frame. You have seen that in the recent past, whatever this breakout was happening here, it has kind of come back to this retest zone. This is more pronounced, and the monthly and the weekly chart do not present any different or too different a picture. So we will kind of have a similar sort of opinion here. So I will not spend too much time there, but try and make some sense out of this chart. Now this is the daily chart. On the daily chart, if I were to zoom in a little, what do you think is happening here? Do you think that the market, can you not see that the market is kind of making a support pattern over here, right? So market has taken multiple times of support at around 24,000, 24,500 levels. Even now, market has kind of made a near-term bottom at 24,600. So if I were to mark the territories and call this as support and this area as resistance, okay, as a technical analysis or a technical analyst or trader or a price action trader, what should be your question here? What should be your primary action here? At support areas, do you buy or do you sell? What is the first action? You will look to buy at support. This is your primary action, right? Now, if that gets negated, your secondary action or your reaction should be sell at supports break down. Suppose this breaks down, only then you will say, okay, support break hua hai, breakout aaya hai, or from that range it has broken out, and I will follow the trend. Right now, because the price action is kind of making it is attempting to go up, let us give the benefit of the doubt to the market and try and participate in a possible bullish move from here. That's the primary technical analysis view that I will have. But we are not only going to look at this, we are also going to look at what is the option chain telling us. Okay. Before the option chain, let me take you back to the screen and I will show you the OI. Okay. Now, when I look at the OI for the closest month, for the closest expiry, which is 7th of August. So our immediate analysis on the markets was that we are at a support area and we should be, rather looking to buy than sell in the market. But as a technical analyst, you are not sold to that. As a trader, see, broad view tha ki market will, range in this range, hover in this range, and the broader time frame support is around 22,000. And we should be bullish in the market and continue with our SIPs and long-term investments till that 22,000 level is broken, if at all it is broken. Okay, till such time we will either make a W pattern and then break out to the top, or we will make a top and handle sort of a pattern, or that V shape with a range bound sort of a pattern and then move up. So these are the two scenarios that we have discussed, the likelihood scenarios. But from a trader's perspective, from a trader's angle, we are short-term traders, right? We are looking to trade the F&O market, which itself has a expiry date of one month to 3 months at the max. So we are looking at more shorter-term setups, which is why we looked at the daily setup, which is showing us that the market is currently at a support level and we are trying to form some sort of a bottom and trying to move up. So if that is the price action that we are seeing, we should also try and participate on the upside of the market, right? Now, to corroborate this, we will look at high frequency data, something like an option chain. Okay. Now, in the option chain, let me help you guys understand what these color coded bars are. These are essentially the outstanding open interest of calls and puts on the option chain of Nifty. The red or the orange bars, I think the red bars, brick color bars, are basically the put open interest values, and the green bars are basically the call open interest values. Now, option chain is always looked at from the perspective of a seller. Okay, sellers perspective से लेते हैं, क्योंकि क्या है, ऑप्शन को बाई भी कर सकते हैं, सेल भी कर सकते हैं. So you will have multiple views कि यार ये बाइंग करना चाहिए कि ये sellers का है कि ये बायर्स है, बुलिश है कि बेरिश है. Essentially, the understood or the agreed upon method of looking at the option chain world over is from the eyes of a seller. Consider that you are a seller, and then you will look at the option chain. Now, when I am a seller and I look at the option chain, out of all the red bars, which is the highest red bar? Which is 24,700. All right. Now, if we are looking at it from the perspective of a seller, this becomes a high frequency support area, right? Because if I'm selling puts, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to create a support, a temporary support in the market. All right. So if my support is around 24,700, all right, and my technical analysis on the price chart also is telling me 24,600 as per TA is the support, it kind of confluences. So it kind of confirms कि यार यहाँ पर एक support build हो रहा है from the high frequency data point, and from the price action also it is kind of confirming this, right? So I am not saying that we are becoming outright bullish or bearish on the market. All we are trying to do is read the price action, read the tape and the option chain. Is this clear, everybody? Now, considering that this is the near-term support, we can see 24,800 and 25,000 happens to be the resistance. Okay, we have a fairly strong resistances at 24,800 and 2,500. So the path to going up is not going to be all that easy. So market is likely to struggle. Okay, the path to either moving up or moving down is not looking very clean. So market is likely to struggle on either side. There could be some knee-jerk reaction to overnight news data points, but that's understood, right? The market can, react violently, but then end of the day, once it settles, it will, try and form the natural pattern. So the question by Nilesh is, sir, स्टॉक में हम इस तरह से ऑप्शन कैसे देख सकते हैं? स्टॉक्स का भी हम लोग निलेश देख सकते हैं. लेट मी शो यू वन पर्टिकुलर एग्जांपल. निफ्टी सेंसेक्स और ये हो गया, निफ्टी का हो गया ये ऑप्शन चेन. लेट्स से मैं रिलायंस का ऑप्शन चेन खोल लेता हूँ. ठीक है, आप रिलायंस का भी ऑप्शन चेन खोलेंगे तो इस तरह से दिखेगा. एंड ये रहा. Where can we see this for ऑप्शन चेन निफ्टी सेंसेक्स? यहाँ पर शायद स्टॉक्स का डायरेक्टली नहीं दिख रहा है. मे बी मैं यहाँ पे चार्ट पे दिखाता हूँ, शायद यहाँ पर दिख जाए. ऑप्शन चेन, ऑप्शन चेन दिख रहा है यहाँ पर अपने पास. चलो यहाँ पर नहीं है तो वी कैन गो टू I don't think this is available for the stocks, but we can see a similar thing on Sensible's platform, which is again linked with Upstox. यहाँ पर हम लोग एनालिसिस में जाएंगे, ओपन इंटरेस्ट जाएंगे और आप यहाँ पे स्टॉक का नाम डालेंगे तो आपको दिख जाएगा. So you will be able to see the stocks option chain on Sensible's platform under the analyze tab, in which you can go to the open interest. ठीक है, तो आपके पास मेथड्स हैं जहां से आप आराम से देख सकते हैं. ये मेरे ख्याल से ये वाला ऑप्शन भी Sensible is a platform which is linked with Upstox and we will be able to get the data from there itself. All right, तो यहाँ पर भी ये दिखता है. But let's get back to our setup. Is the point clear, everybody? That we have near-term supports on this market. Now, from a trading perspective, as a F&O trader, अगर मुझे options में trade करना है, ठीक है, I will take you back to the Sensibles chart. यहाँ पर एक option होता है screener. In the screener, हम लोग if we are trying to look at if you are trying to look at the stock options, we need to understand what are the moving factors in it. ठीक है, एक वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट मूविंग फैक्टर होता है इम्प्लाइड वॉलेटिलिटी और आईवी, राइट? तो जस्ट टू रिकॉल, यू विल look to buy options when the IVs are cheap or when you feel that the IVs will rise, and you will look to sell option strategies when you feel that the IV is high or it is likely to fall from the current levels. ठीक है, अभी IV itself does not tell you whether the market is bearish or bullish, but essentially प्रीमियम्स का प्ले होता है कि आप थीटा को कैप्चर किस तरह से करते हैं, राइट? सो दैट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑन आईवी. सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इज ऑन द ऑप्शन चेन, OI change. Now, how will you read this? There are 4 key parameters that you will look at, right? What are the 4 key parameters? If your price and OI, okay? If the price is going up and the OI is going up, what will you call this? Long build up. Okay, now if the price is going up and the OI is going down, you will say, what will you call this? Short covering. Okay, now if the price is going down, OI is going up. Okay, what will you call this? Short build up. Okay, and if the price is going down and the OI is also going down, you will say long unwind. right? Short selling इसमें नहीं आता है. This is basically your OI analysis. Okay, this is basically called OI analysis. Can you see here? आप यहाँ पे चारों देख सकते हैं, right? Long build up, short covering, long unwind, short build up. All right. So what basically it tells you is you're looking for see, अगर आप F&O trading करते हो and stocks में करना है, always look for OI build up. मतलब where the market is build up का मतलब होता है more and more participants are, you know, creating fresh positions in that particular counter, right? So this itself tells you कि यहाँ पर momentum है, right? Now combine that momentum's view, combine that build up view along with the price action. ठीक है, अभी build up हो रहा है, ये मालूम पड़ गया ऑप्शन चेन में. अभी ये इंटरेस्ट आ रहा है, मतलब more public is coming in, more money is pouring into this counter. This is the OI build up, right? But if the price is going up, then the build up is bullish. If the price is falling down, the build up is bearish. So essentially, as a trader, you should look at build up is increasing and you will trade with the direction of the market, right? तो उसमें क्या करेंगे? If you are trying to, you know, shortlist possible trades for the next week, you will look at long build-ups. Okay? Again, no recommendations or anything. We are trying to read data points to arrive at certain, certain stance. Okay, this is my inference from this data point reading, right? So there is nothing recommendatory over here as such. Now, what is the long build-up? You will find these two stocks where you can very clearly see that the OI is increasing and the price is also going up, correct? So basis this, you will then go to the charts, see if the pattern, if you find a pattern, if you find some sort of a breakout, or if you find some certain tradable patterns, whatever tradable patterns or technical indicators you follow, okay, basis which you will arrive at an entry point, you will arrive at a possible stop loss where the view gets negated and a possible target. Basis that, then you will set up a trade. Clear? Now this is on the long side. Similarly, remove the long side, look at the short build-up. You are finding these four stocks where the price is going down and the OI is increasing. So there is fresh build-up of short positions in these particular counters. Again, you have certain stocks ready for you for the next week's setup. What you will do? You will create this watch list, okay, and start tracking them on the charts. See if this sustains for a day or two, and then plan a trade accordingly. Again, when you plan a trade, you look at the price action. You know at the back of your mind that the buildup is bearish. So you are looking for possible shorting opportunities, or you are looking to find an entry point wherein the risk reward is in your favor. बहुत ज़्यादा गिर गया कोई stock, so possibly there could be a reversal or a relief buying in that. Something like, you know, PNB, it has already fallen by 16%. तो इतना strongly already गिर चुका है, possibly there could be a reversal. You know, एक होता है momentum में गिर रहा है, दूसरा होता है it is oversold, right? So try to make that difference कि ये oversold है कि ये इसमें अभी भी momentum बाकी है. All right, so be aware of that. Is this clear, everybody? So this is how you will arrive at possible setups for the next week. And the beauty of our setup is that under the F&O tab, we have this strategy builder. Okay, under the strategy builder, you can now create possible options strategies for the underlying that you have chosen. Okay, bullish hai, bearish hai, or non-directional, and then see what is the setup. Okay, maybe in the next session, whenever I come live with all of you, I will try and take you through how we will use this strategy builder that has been made for us. All right. Now, finally, before I close the room, because this room will close in the next 3 minutes, we will I will try and take up the first question that we had discussed, which is on Mazgaon top. Now, Maslow Dock is on a tearaway run. Matlab, it is a stock which has done very well from a higher time frame perspective. Okay. And whenever you're looking at a monthly chart, instead of looking at a normal chart, go to this gearbox and change it into a logarithmic chart. What this will do is, very simple here. I mean, it is fairly simple to understand and logical also. ठीक है? अभी देखो यहाँ पे 600 rupees है. And this is 1200 rupees, right? What is this in percentage terms? 100%. So this movement, okay, typically this movement in the chart is a 100% move, right? Now from let's say from 2000, I want to make a 4000, another 100% move. 4000 is here. So this is also 100% move, right? What happens is, visually, this chart, matlab on a higher time frame, whenever the chart has, a very strong movement, it kind of, magnifies the recent movement of the chart, which kind of tells us कि यार थोड़ा difficulty है. इसके लिए क्या करेंगे हम लोग? We will go to the logarithmic chart and put it this way. अब क्या होता है? In this, everything becomes percentage. ठीक है? Everything becomes in equal percent. Every box becomes equal percentage. This makes the chart much more easy to understand, right? So only on the higher time frame charts आप ये करेंगे. So if you look at that, ये underlying is close to a support area. One would possibly consider to look at if you are bullish on this particular stock from a higher time frame perspective. This is at a support area, and you would want to try and go take some positions on the upside itself. And because ये एक rounding bottom बनाया है, this area will possibly become your where your view gets negative. All right. Chaliye, thank you so much for being a part of this session. I hope everybody enjoyed this quick half an hour session, and please give your feedback so that we can conduct such sessions more often for all of you. Again, a final disclaimer from me. None of the stocks or the indices that we have discussed are part of any recommendations from my side or from Upstox. Everything that we have done is primarily data point reading and price action reading for the benefit of understanding how to read derivatives data as well as price action. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.